Welcome back to another video. So Bitharvest is moving along. Y'all know I've been big supporters of them, and I think when I can take one device like this MNTD that's right here in this goal, and that's exactly like the one we're going to discuss in this video, and you can take that and start doing multiple mining, multiple things on that one device. I think that's a great project. Talked about before. I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but I'm going to show you right now how we get that software firmware onto a device by using the Discord. This is how we're doing it right now. This is how Bitharvest is doing it right now. I'm gonna tell also, this is not financial advice. I'm asking everybody, please like this video so we can try to get the word about Bitharvest. People want to know what they can do with Bobcats and what they can do with some of the Helium stuff that they don't want to use on Helium, or now with Helium going up a little bit, you can multi-mine Helium on top of Wingbits, on top of Crank, and on top of some of these other projects. So press the like button, because when people start searching this stuff, you hitting that thumbs up button is not if you support me and my janky production value, as you can see. It is supporting these projects to get the word out for these projects. So hit the like button, please, and hit the subscribe button, because we have a lot of projects going on right now that I'm losing my hair, because I have a lot of projects going on right now. My Weather XM just shipped. I'm excited to get that in. That's supposed to be Monday, right in the middle of Mardi Gras down here. If y'all happen to see this video before Fat Tuesday, which is in 3 or 4 days, I will be live streaming a parade possibly tomorrow, and we'll be live streaming a parade from down here on Sunday. I don't know how it's going to work out yet, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Make sure you subscribe so you can see this. Make sure you subscribe to my other channel, because I'm going to stream some stuff on there also. Grumpy Dad Outdoors. But let's get started on this. I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. So how are we going to purchase a Bitharvest firmware for your device? So what I did is I went ahead and I have a Helium device that also next to it had a Wingbits device. The Wingbits device so happened to fail. It was on a potato. For some reason, I can't get the little potato to come back up. So this is a perfect timing. And that, as it turns out, I have another one also that kind of the same thing happened. So I figured, why not do both of them? So I did the first one before this video. I like to try it out sometimes before, and it worked out good. So I'm gonna go through those steps with you now. So if you in the Discord, under their announcements page, you can see exactly, what needs to be done and stuff like that. So I have a sense cap behind me, and what I did is that sense cap was running Helium. Took an SD card and burned Raspberry OS on it, the light version. So what I go to is I'm taking a brand new SD card, 64-bit, ultra, or something that can handle the weather and can handle like an extreme card, something that can handle a lot of rewrites and stuff, because, it will be running multiple projects and stuff like that. Just don't buy a cheap card. I have some that are shared in the ones I'm using, I have shared in the description of this video. But I'm clicking on Raspberry Pi. I don't want the desktop version, because it's just resources that don't need to be ran. Everything's be ran with a server version. So I'm going to Raspberry Pi right here, and I'm picking, this is for my rack gold that I'm doing today. And this is what I also put on my sense cap. But a lot of these Helium devices or Pis and stuff like that are Pi 4s, and you can run this also. But I'm running this port of Bookworm with no desktop environment. And then what I'm doing is when I click choose storage, it's going to ask me which card I want. And then when I press next, it's going to ask me, do I want OS customization settings? This is where a lot of people messed up that followed my videos before. They want to rush through it and stuff. This is a newer version of Pi Imager. It looks a little bit different than the one we used in some of the previous projects. But I pressed edit settings, and then I named my device. And what I did is I named my first one like Bitharvest, and my second one Bitharvest 2, because I learned in the previous project, when you name them all the previous project, or you name them all Wingbits, then when you start remoting into them, you don't know which one you're messing with. So I'm gonna start going with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, how many I do. I'm putting a username that I'll remember, and I'm putting a password. I'm making sure I also use a capital letter, several lowercase letters. I'm using at least one special character. I'm using 1 to 2 numbers and and another special character after sometimes. So that's me. I'm not making this easy. These things are on port 22. Sometimes people leave them open and they're going to get hammered and hammered. If you've ever looked into a router before and see if you have something on port 22, I have some ham stuff on the network and it's getting hammered worldwide. Constantly trying to get into it. Make these don't make it password. Don't make it your girlfriend or your boyfriend's name or your dog's name or your kid's name or, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, same, password of your luggage or anything like that from Spaceballs. Put a good password on it. I digress. So once you do that and you press save and then you press, would you like the customization? And you press yes. And then once you press yes, anything on this card is going to be wiped. But I'm using brand new cards. It's just I finally work better. So I SSH into that device. I took my Helium card out and basically I took the Helium little SD card out, stuck the new one in there that I just wrote. Now it has Raspberry on it or whatever you want to call it. And first thing I do is I go to basically sudo su, which is making it a super user. And what I do is I run a apt-get update and an apt-get upgrade just to get it all ready and stuff like that. And then basically that's it. So you'll know I like Jupyter. I'm going to use that for a swap. I have some Jupyter tokens from that airdrop I did a video on a while back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer or use Jupyter to swap about $38. You need $35.98 for the purchase of the license. But, I try to round to $36, then go up another $1 for any kind of gas at $37. So, I'm going to make this somewhere close to what I need for BHST. I like BHST, so if I have $1 or $2 more, I'm gonna hold on to it because I actually made some decent money with BHST going up before. So I don't mind supporting them and buying the token, stuff like that. So I'm gonna swap that and I'm gonna go ahead and get that BHST done. So I'm going over to here and I'm copying down this wallet address so I can send my BHST over there. So after I send it, I couldn't show you me sending it because on Phantom it won't come up on this program, the screen capture. But you need to copy down what your signature is right here, that you did this, and we're going to send it to the Bitharvest guys. So y'all saw me purchase this thing, so y'all know I'm not getting anything free from them. So I can be completely unbiased. I'm paying for both my licenses. I paid for the first one. I just paid for the second one. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come over here to the Pioneer license request. I'm sorry, I couldn't find it. And you're going to create a ticket. When you create it, all right, so I had to get the guys to open up a second ticket for me because it doesn't allow me to open up 2 tickets. So the first request you see on my ticket is from my original purchase. So basically, when you create a ticket for Pioneer license request, and this is only for right now, like I said earlier, it's going to be automated at a certain point, and it might be soon. By the time you get a chance to watch this video, this all might be, figured out. They're waiting on some stuff with the Solana chain, making sure everything's kosher, everything's good. But for right now, all you're doing is you're coming here and you're pasting that signature for your Solana transfer to show that you got your stuff transferred. So I will paste that, and then I'm going to post my external IP, my internal IP. I also need to make sure that I did any kind of port forwarding that needs to happen for port 22, which is SSH, because they have to SSH into this to be able to put their firmware on it. So I've already did that, and I have SSH open to that one particular internal port. So I am sending them my external, then my internal IP, I'm letting them know that this is going to be a rack, MNTD gold device. And I think that's probably all they're going to need for right now. And if they need any further information, like on my first one, they needed some Wingbits information because I'm running Wingbits along with Helium on that single device. He needed some additional information. He came back and, you know, told me about it. So I'm gonna do that now on this ticket. All right, so you can see that on this, I have my external IP that I placed on here. I got it covered so y'all can't see it. Sorry. My internal IP, that's right here. The username that I gave it, and then my password, which is also underneath here, and I told them what it was. Once I did that, one of the mods came back and said transaction confirmed. So now I have license for 1 unit with 1 year premium subscription. And that's it. I'm leaving it alone. A couple of hours later, one of them will let me know that they got into it, and that's it. Y'all know we're mining some grass. I'm on top of it. I'm busting some grass butt right now. Even though my grass at home is dormant, I'm putting some grass. Make sure y'all stay on top of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up one of my miners that I've already got done so far and show you what that looks like. All right. They just got back with me. They have onboarded my device. So first thing I want to tell you is don't make the mistake I did of not reading instructions. Before I was going to, I can give you my local address because I don't care. 1010.34.139 was my local address before. Now, when I try to go to 1010.234.139, it doesn't work. So that's the first thing that's changed. They give you an onboarding guide, see, it doesn't work. So now you have to put HTTPS in it. And now you get this connection is not private. It's okay. There's just no certificate for that exact IP. So you're going to proceed. And then you're going to put the pin in that they give you. They'll send you an onboarding instructions when you are all configured up. So I'm going to put my pin in here. And here is my new device right here. This is a device that I just got done. So this is not my Bobcat from last week or anything like that. This is a brand new one just now. And if you saw one of my last videos, one thing that irked my OCD, which my wife will argue I'm not OCD, but my time is correct. So that's one thing that irked me a little bit. So at a glance, I have Wingbits right here. I have my CPU usage again. So this device has multiple things running on it. And here we are with one little spike when I logged in of 40%. Other than that, it shows you how overboard it was, or under, whatever you want to, way you want to say it, that the fact that we were running Helium on a Pi 4 and how much horsepower was left on it. Look, I mean, you're hitting 12%, 9%, 9.5%. So here we are running all this stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these different things that we have here. So they have my Wingbits set up. When I click on my Wingbits, I'm gonna tell you, this is at my desk right now, so don't knock me, because when I put this on my roof where it belongs at, I'll be getting 100 times, literally 100 times this. But just to show you that my Wingbits does work. One thing I also want to say is, like, this shows my what Wi-Fi is available and that kind of stuff like that. I got my devices hardwired, but once that you know this is done, they will tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you this just to make sure we are, you know, push security to all y'all. Once I know that this is complete, I'm shutting down my 22 port, my port 4 for 22 for SSH access on to the outside. There's what I do is I run my SSH through a completely obscure port, way high up, 5-digit port, because I still want to be able to SSH into my remote devices, but I'm not leaving anything on 22, just so I can say that. So make sure that once they're done and they tell you this is complete, you go back into your router and you close off that port 22 SSH access, because like I said earlier, it's going to get hammered. All right, Wingbits is installed. We're going to go to Helium, and I'm going to run an install of Helium. We'll go ahead and let this play out. Be right back. So you'll actually see this down here in this corner right here, where it says Helium Gateway has been, Mon said there was pulling the configuration, then it's been started, and that's how this goes right here. So we have the Helium installed, Wingbits was already installed. So now we come on here, we can see that it's using, we got Helium, Wingbits up here, again, your system uptime. It has my CPU usage still. Up here in this corner, we have network throughput. And I like this because in all these projects, you see the same question over and over: is how much data is this using? You know, is it a data hog? And, you know, was it small and stuff like that? So now you can see what your data bits are, and how much your network throughputs and that kind of stuff like that is. So you have your RAM usage here. I'm at 16%, 18%. Even with doing this install, you can see my CPU came up a little bit during that install. And even that was only at 44%. And now I'm back down to 8%, 25%, going back down to 13%. And that's with two of these things running. So I'm only at 4% of disk usage, and that, you know, my temperature and that kind of stuff like that. So when we go to manage, we'll see Helium and click on that. And then here we see Helium. And I'll go ahead and click on that right here where this arrow is. And here's my name. If I have to do a restart, if I want to uninstall it some reason, again, it uses Moken Explorer to be able to see this, which I like Moken. That's what I use now. When I click on that, it's going to open up Moken for me and show me my location and tell me what that's currently doing. So moving on from Helium, we have our Wingbits. So we have our dashboard, our TAR 1090 configuration, different things like that. And if we want to see our TAR 1090, we click on TAR 1090, and boom, here it does. It pops this up. So I'm pretty impressed with this. As usual, I don't expect anything different, but here we are. So I got to put this on the roof. It's 6 o'clock at night. That's not happening tonight, but I wanted to get this video out. But, you know, I'll do an update video when, like I said, when everything gets pushed into complete alpha, or, you know, full duty, whatever you want to call it. And I'll come back and show y'all what this is doing. So I am interested in doing some of these other projects. Crank, this isn't the video for me to critique Crank, you know, things 1X. I was interested in doing, but I know everything on that's been put on hold right now. I'm running Helium. Honey Gain and Pawns is bandwidth sharing. You'll know before I've said I hope to get grass, and kind of reading between the lines of their Discord in the general section, they possibly have some more stuff coming. They also are listening to y'all that if there is something that can be installed on it, give them suggestions and they'll run it. So these guys have been busting their butts. I know they've been putting some long hours in, but it's paying off. This looks great. And I think once the full thing gets done, where you can basically do everything automated, you go to the page and you purchase it, and it's a lot easier than what this is. I think it's going to be a lot better. I know they're still working on the Bobcats. Bobcats right now, some Bobcats cannot do Wingbits because the USB drive is not active in it, or it won't accept the SDRs, whatever that Wingbits needs. So I have faith these guys will get that solved, but that's them. You know, they don't work for Bobcat or anything like that, but I just have faith in them that they solved a lot of this other stuff, so I think they can solve this too. So I got this direct from the guys themselves on how is this going to work long term. Again, what we just did with this ticket is strictly just onboarding a few. They want to get the first couple of you know, firmwares out there, out in the wild, let a couple different people use them, a couple different devices. So they're kind of just taking baby steps with this. But in the long run, you will be able to purchase this from a page, just like it says. Once he launched, this is from source code, if y'all familiar with him, on the Discord. And it says, once we launch our Luna Unity Alpha 1.1 firmware, a user will essentially be able to flash their firmware onto an SD card or Bobcat via RK DevTool. So this is basically the same way that we put Raspberry Pi on this. This is the same way that we converted Helium monitors back with the previous project or with Wingbits or anything like that. And once this gets started, to help those out who might need a little help, I will have a how-to guide, a how-to video, because that's what that seems to be good at, because me giving out, you know, trades and everything else don't work out that well. So I will have a how-to video how to do this from beginning to end, from the purchase through the whole point once this gets started. But let's keep going. So the page will let the user pay using either BHST, IoT, Solana US or USDC. Me, I like to, and it might be an extra step for some people. I like to buy the BHST token because that's the token that was made to support this project. And just as a way to create volume for that, I've made a decent amount of money, which wasn't even my intention. I've told y'all many times when I purchased BHST token when they first came out, and just as a way to keep supporting that, as long as I support these guys and stuff, I'm going to buy that BHST token. I have a bunch of it. The pool also, but I'm getting off key. So I'm going to buy BHST. I'm taking my IoT. I told you I took Jupiter and used the Jupiter exchange to flip it to BHST. Y'all do it the way y'all want to do it. But to keep going, upon selection, it will automatically calculate the amount of that specific token needed to pay for Unity license. So if you pay BHST, it's going to tell you, hey, you're purchasing this license, or if you're purchasing the premium one that lets them service it for you, which if you're not that tech savvy, I highly suggest that one. But we'll go through all that when that comes out. But whatever token you choose, IoT, Solana, or BHST, it's going to automatically decide which one or how much to send. So once users click pay, either your Soulflare or your Phantom wallet will open and it asks them to complete the payment. It'll do the transfer. Once the user completes the payment from their Phantom or Soulflare wallet, the output Solana transaction hash is gathered from the transaction and passed on to Unity, which will then process this data using our license generator algo. Once a license is generated, which only takes a few seconds, it will be installed on a user's Unity app. That way, when the license mechanism is set up, if a user's device SD card ever dies, they will be able to flash a new card. They can reach out to them and we'll push their existing license to their new device. If the device, however, fails, the license will die with it. So there it is. But again, that's just so in case you've watched this video and thought it was a little, couple of too many steps to have to come create a ticket and type all that stuff in there. This is just for right now, during the beginning, getting it out there. Once they kind of get rolling with this, which they're telling me is supposed to be very soon. So who knows, by the time you see this video, what I did already early, this video might be out of date and we might be with this new version. But when that happens, I will do another device because I like this so far. Y'all know I've been testing this already for 2 or 3 weeks or something like that on my other device. That was on a Bobcat, which I couldn't do Wingbits. But these two devices, the one I onboarded earlier and the one I'm onboarding as we speak, I will be able to run, like I showed y'all in that video. I can take my Wingbit device out, only have Helium, run Helium to 2 antennas. Listen, I want to say this also. I know I'm getting in the weeds. I'm sorry. But just so I can say this, because there's a lot of new people coming into Discord, and there's a lot of people who are questioning things. And I'm going to say this first. I don't know everything. But if you were with us early on in the previous project we shall not speak of anymore, I did a lot of antenna testing. And I'm looking at a lot of y'all, several of y'all, who want to argue with me on Discord. They don't call me grumpy a-hole for no reason. I was out there in 90 and 100-degree weather on top of roofs and in other certain spots, sweating my brains out, testing 7 to 8, 10 different antennas to come up with the antenna we're using now. This project does not like high gain antennas. If you still want to go buy the 9 or 12 gain 1090 dB antenna, go ahead. I don't care. It ain't my money. We did all this stuff for you or I did this stuff for you so that you wouldn't have to waste money. Now, I'm not saying if you go buy a 9 or 12 dB antenna for $90 on Amazon, it ain't going to work. I'm sure it will work. You might get some good results. So if it does work, don't call me a liar that I don't know what I'm talking about. But currently, right now, I'm using the same antenna that I have been telling people about for 6, 8, 9 months now. I'm getting over 200 miles on some stations that are only 10 to 15 feet off the ground, and I'm getting 200 plus miles from them. I'm getting almost 200 aircraft from it, sometimes more than 200 aircraft. I've hit 300 miles once with, or twice, as far as I could, you know, when I don't sit here and watch them all day. If you choose to use other antennas, that's fine. You're not hurting my feelings, but you know, how much more can you get before the curvature of the earth starts to hurt you? You're trying to see planes 40,000 feet in the air. And sometimes high gain, listen, I was the first one preaching high gain, and people argued with me all day with low gain, low gain, low gain for helium. And I have more stations now with high gain antennas now. Now they're getting bad witnesses because of how far they're getting. Because I have on top of towers. But we completely are falling off the rails here. So the point I'm getting at is I'm seeing people in Discord because of this project saying, oh, I'm going to put a Y adapter on it. I'm just going to use my helium antenna. Will it work? Yes, we've tested it. I'm got to take that video and take the previous project's name that we don't speak of no more, somehow excerpt that name out of there so I can put that video up so people can see it. We've tried it against helium antennas, the Laird, which was the king of the kings during the helium craze. And I tried against, I made a homemade antenna like you've seen in some of the videos for 1090 and some of the small little homemade ones. And I bought probably 4, 5, 6 different helium antennas. And the one that we've settled on is the best bang for the buck, and it wasn't even the most expensive one. So the helium antenna will work. It ain't gonna give you the best results. If you're just a supporter of Wingbits, yes, it will work. But if you own a HEX, I am telling you, don't put a Laird on it, or don't put a helium antenna on it. If you own a HEX and you stepped up to be one of those 3 owners of that HEX, you need to have the best possible setup that you can have. Running a helium antenna ain't it. Now, I'm sorry, I know I'm way off the rails here as usual in my videos, and we're not talking about Bitharvest, but we are partially talking about Bitharvest because I'm pushing a lot of people with Wingbits to Bitharvest, because why would you not run Bitharvest when you can run multiple projects on one device? So that's why I'm getting on this Wingbits subject. And I try to help out people in Wingbits, and honestly, I don't want anybody to think I'm a bully or I'm a grumpy a-hole like my name implies, but I just have to leave out of there because I have people arguing with me about antennas. And listen, I don't know it all. I'll say it again, I don't know it all. But people who just assume stuff or think they read something, we've tried it out. All right, back to this. So I will say, I can't wait to see this thing fully operational with the form and everything that's going to be like that. I think it's going to work out very well. And go ahead and close this out. So get into the Bitharvest studio, make sure website, make sure you go to the Discord. And this video went long enough. I should be having another video before the Mardi Gras comes. If not, happy Mardi Gras to everybody. I will be streaming that again if y'all made it this long in the video. But y'all have a nice weekend and enjoy. It's Friday night. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend, and I'll see y'all in the next video.